welcome to Culture on I-24 News. I'm Glenn Grover. Thank you so much for joining me. Today on our show, we'll take a look at art on film. International music producers get a taste of the Israeli scene. And we'll talk about Israel's holiday spectacle craze. Let's begin, though, with some cultural headlines. The National Board of Review revealed their winning films for 2014. The board picked J.C. Chandor's Most Violent Year, starring Jessica Chastain and Oscar Isaac, as their best film of the year. Chandor previously directed the Robert Redford one-man film, All Is Lost. Chastain was also honored as Best Supporting Actress for her role in the film, and Isaac tied for Best Actor with Birdman star Michael Keaton. Birdman also won Edward Norton a Supporting Actor award, and Julianne Moore was named Best Actress for her role in Still Alice. The film American Sniper, starring Bradley Cooper, won 84-year-old Clint Eastwood the award for Best Director. And in a surprising win, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller won Best Original Screenplay for The Lego Movie. Yay! While the National Board of Review picks aren't considered a particularly good prediction for the Oscars, they might signal that the playing field for this year's award season is still wide open. So if you hurry, you might still get in there. In other film news, Warner Brothers revealed on Tuesday the all-star cast for the DC Comics supervillain film, The Suicide Squad. Heading the cast, Jared Leto will step into the big clown shoes last filled by Heath Ledger as the Joker. Wolf of Wall Street star Margot Robbie will play his henchwoman Harley Quinn. As previously rumored, Will Smith will portray the lesser-known villain Assassin Deadshot, while Tom Hardy, who previously played a DC villain as Bane, will step into the role of the even lesser-known baddie Rick Flag. Jai Courtney and model Cara Delevingne will round up the cast, while Jesse Eisenberg is expected to return to the role of Lex Luthor that he will first play in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. The film, which will be directed by David Ayer, will have to struggle with introducing an ensemble cast of characters unknown to mainstream audiences in one summer action film, but they have plenty of time to get prepared. The film is set to release only in August 2016. We're staying with film. Laetitia Loreny is now joining me in the studio to discuss how the sixth art is treating all the rest of the arts. And we're doing this because of Mike Lee's upcoming film, Mr. Turner, right?
About about the life of GMW Turner, which is one of the most admirable painter British painter of the 19th century. He was a member of the Royal Academy of Arts. He's a very, very colorful character, colorful character to portray in films. Obviously inspired one of our, renowned British director, Mike Lee. And this made me, the movie came out in UK. It's doing really good in the box office, and it's coming out in France today, and it's going to come out in the rest of the world very soon, December for the States, etc., etc. But it made me go into I asked myself, what is this special relationship between art and cinema? Because when we look at the biography of several of our biggest directors, whether it's Orson Welles or Martin Scorsese, or in France, Jean Renoir, or even Godard, they all made a movie that has somehow a link with painting. Okay. And Mr. Turner, what's interesting in Mr. Turner is that it's a pre-impressionist painter adapted in a biopic. We have a trouble with this word, us French people. Anyway, this biopic, it's pretty realistic for a biopic about a painter that's pre-impressionist. Right. When we look at other biopic, Van Gogh, for example, from Maurice Pialat, which was in 91, the director seems to have the tendencies to take more freedom in the script and in imagining the life of the those painters, we don't have that many testimonies of those painters.
Yeah, right.
It's not the same thing as doing a movie about Andy Warhol or about
Jackson Pollock or
Basquiat,
something more recent, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but so what you find? I mean, in Basquiat, we've seen it much more recent. They have a lot more to go by. But Mike Lee is known as a very serious filmmaker. I'm sure he did his homework for this film, and it's considered pretty
realistic.
accurate.
Completely, yes.
All right, so without a doubt, a very interesting relation there between different arts, and there's a lot to look forward to in this new Mike Lee. Thank you so much, Leticia.
Thank you.
Let's put the cinema behind us now and focus on music. Last week, Israel's International Music Showcase Festival took place in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, bringing together Israeli musicians with some of the most influential figures in the international music scene. The goal, of course, to expose the international market to the local talent. David Gumbin and Pazit Dank were there, brought us this story.
The idea is simple. We have fantastic musicians in Israel, but they do not have enough places to perform because we are a small country.
Programmers, artistic directors, producers, and music professionals who come from around the world to see the Israeli scene. Japanese Makoto Miyanogawa, Czech Martin Koza, and Kenyan Kimathi Rimbui Aaron. They represent some of the crop of world music and jazz festivals. Among them is British Ben Mendelsohn, a respected figure in this small community. He is also one of the music experts who in 1987 helped coin the term world music.
And when we came up with the idea of world music, I guess it was an idea that already existed but didn't have the name. And it really was a group of interested people who wanted to make a short-term marketing campaign for 3 months, which cost about $5,000 US. And we're still talking about it now in 2014. So I think it was quite a good campaign.
Each year, he organizes WOMEX, the most important trade fair for world music. He comes to Israel to discover future talent that will excite audiences at the top European festivals. Might Israeli pianist Gadi Stern with his group Shalosh be the thing he's looking for? Gadi is excited for the show, a kind of casting session for musicians.
What I read about him was really amazing. Like, he seems like a huge person, like not only in the music industry, just like someone, and from seeing him, he has this aura around him of like someone who's been around and done things.
Faced with such a variety of artists, Mendelsohn has to make some tough choices.
There's always a set of criteria which say we are looking for, let's say, professional attitude, originality, creativity, something with the spirit. I don't want to use my intellect all the time. I want to feel.
After 4 days of intensive shows, who will be the ones picked for the international prominence? Has Mendelsohn already selected a group that will perform in WOMEX 2015 in Budapest? If he did, he still keeps it a secret. Israel is a small country. Its cultural scene is shaken by wars, weakened by conflict. Organizing such an event for the past 4 years and bringing music personalities from around the world is more than a challenge. It is proof of vitality.
I think it is not only that they come. I think when people hear that a man like him is here, it gives serious qualification to the project.
Under the watchful gaze of Ben Mendelsohn at the center of the panel of judges, a mosaic of the different styles of Israeli music unfolds.
In a moment, we'll talk about how spectacular shows became part of the Hanukkah ritual. But first, our cultural recommendation for the day.
Jerusalem, the holy city which is often the object of religious tensions, has a fascinating history. The photographs in this exhibition tell the story of the city and the many riots, clashes, and battles that have taken place there. Hisham Al-Jarabi has been a researcher of the history of photography for 22 years at the University of Al-Quds, and he has collected pictures of the capital through friends, families, photographers, and the internet. All are good sources to document this extraordinary city. All in all, 162 pictures present the modern history of the holy city.
And now, author and cultural commentator Amalia Rosenblum is joining me in the studio. Great to have you back, Amalia.
Thanks.
We're talking about Hanukkah and a very specific aspect of the holiday, that is embodied in the festigal,
Right.
a spectacle, a performance for kids that's
Musical.
happening, a musical performance every Hanukkah. And this year it draws some criticism.
That's right. It's been a tradition. Even I went as a child.
Wow.
But I think the issue is that it's become more and more commercialized, and people are upset. It's not only that everything costs money. It's also about the content. I think parents are viewing the content as becoming. It's like exploitation films for kids, really.
Right, because they bring some big TV star. They're bringing some big names, but the somehow
Yeah,
the
exactly.
writing doesn't cut it.
No, the writing, it seems as if no one is putting any thought into the writing, or worse, people are putting thought into the writing, and they're making the show, all about those aspects of youth culture that are upsetting to parents. The narcissistic preoccupation
Vulgar.
with selfies and
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, in a way, some would say that the older generation always thinks that the younger generation has lost its way, and
It's-
kids today and all of that.
That's absolutely correct. Although I would say, the fact that I'm paranoid doesn't mean,
Nobody's chasing you.
Exactly. It might also be the case that, that cultural productions have become less focused on content and entertainment and more about, the bottom line in
Right,
terms of
right.
money at the.
Well, okay, but now it's certainly a spectacle, whether a good one or a
That's
bad
true.
one. And if we try to look at it from a global standpoint, then this is the time for these sorts of events. All
That-
around the world, we see big winter shows.
That's right, and I think those shows in other countries are part and parcel of the holiday season, and certainly it's a holiday ritual here, just as the dreidel and
Yeah.
the potato
I
latkes.
I have to admit that just the strobe lights from
Right?
the visuals from
you
the
might
performance,
Get a seizure.
you might get a
yeah,
seizure.
you might get a seizure from that. And it's true though, because I think some people are saying, what is it about this ceremony, this ritual that we're actually celebrating? Is it the content? Is it watching this, or is it the process of waiting in line, to get to the parking lot, waiting in line to get the tickets, waiting in line, to
go to the bathroom.
to go to the bathroom, and then waiting in line to buy the merchandising.
Right.
So
It's not so much about what we're actually seeing. It's about the same way we play with the dreidel and eat latkes, we go see the festival or
Exactly.
wait in line to see the festival.
Exactly. It's as if the torturing aspects have become the end in
there
and of
goes
itself.
the holiday spirit.
True, but I think when you say the holiday spirit, it does bring up another question, which is I think people in Israel feel a little bit uncomfortable, perhaps, around the meaning of Hanukkah, and I think that's another part of it, because in other countries, almost universally, people tend to celebrate, to have some festivity in wintertime that involves light and drinking some alcohol and actually
Warmth.
just celebrating the
which
warm
exists
aspect.
in Hanukkah. I mean, everybody likes to cozy up in winter.
Exactly, and it
turn
is
on some
called
lights.
also the Festival of Lights. But I think also, with the birth of Israel and Zionism, it has gained some militant and some nationalistic meanings that people don't want to address, and maybe it might create some sort of conflict, which is
Right.
not in line with the holiday spirit. And so instead of addressing the question of what is Hanukkah about, we
They're
have
focusing on the family feeling of it.
exactly, and then we have and just in case we have too much time to discuss this, because we're meeting together every night on Hanukkah, right? So at least one of those evenings we can go and wait in line to see the TV stars.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Amalia.
Thanks.
That is it from us for today. I hope you enjoyed watching our show. We'll be back tomorrow with another edition of Culture, but until that, we leave you today with a few moments from Karl Lagerfeld's new short film he created for Chanel. It's called Reincarnation. It's quite lovely. Take a look.
It's not hard to define. It is there inside when you